Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Pros podcast. Tonight, we're going to be talking about up and coming brands in the golf market. It's something that both of us have kind of worked with these brands and want to bring them to the forefront of kind of mind in terms of maybe a cheaper alternative or something that's going to be really, really useful to our listeners in 2021. Are you excited for tonight, guys?
I can't wait for this one, Joe. I love this kind of thing because at the end of the day, companies are going to start somewhere. They haven't got big marketing budgets. A lot of them started out. And for me, I started this kind of journey 5 or 6 years ago with a company called Golfing Links. They used to import product from the States. And I did some work with those guys on like one of my days where I didn't work for England Golf. I only started with England Golf for 4 days a week. So my kind of Friday was my free day. And I met these guys and I did some work for them. And it was a great experience. It started me on this journey of trying to find new and upcoming brands.
Yeah, I think it's a great place for a lot of golfers to find maybe an alternative to what they use. And I know from some of the picks I've had tonight, there's some rebranded old classics, shall we say. And I think certain companies bought out products that were seriously, seriously good. And people may have thought they disappeared or the alternatives come up and it brings back the old classic of what we want, whilst some of them are completely new products that we can't wait to see what they do in 2021.
Yeah, exactly that. And we've had the kind of joy of speaking to one of the brands, and that'll be coming out later this week. We won't give that away, but we'll tell you at the end of the show who that is and what they're all about as well.
Yeah, just to go to what you've just said there, I mean, for companies importing things, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff out there, and we've especially seen it through kind of social media advertising. Anybody that scrolls through Instagram, I'm sure, has seen the little pitch markers made like wedges, and they look really cool, but there's somebody that's got to bring them to market, and that's the kind of stuff that we've dealt with and kind of bought that too. And I think that's a really nice thing where you do see cool things, but somebody's got to do it, and it's these new brands that are almost reinventing the wheel a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to kick us off, Joe? Who are you going to talk about first?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I'm going to go with a company called Back to Basics. So obviously this is a brand that you know a little bit about, Gareth. They've done a favour to me in sending me a putting pack. It's a fantastic little pack that I use with a lot of my clients, and I like it purely because it's been reimagined. So I'm hoping we can get a picture of the mirror somewhere down here. But this has actually got now a curve in it for you to track your putting lines. So we've seen a lot of fame with these ARC templates, and they're very, very good. And we've seen success of putting mirrors. Now, every tour pro's probably got a putting mirror on the green at some point. And these guys have made one that's basically together. And I think it's a really, really sweet idea. And that's then paired with putting gates. So you've got your start line drills, you've got your shoulder alignment, you've got your whole kind of putting package that I work with a lot of the guys on the putting green with. And I think it's a really, really good one to get people into putting. You don't need to buy a full kit bag of everything, but that set works really nicely. In terms of all the things they do, I know they've just bought out a rangefinder. They do a multitude of different kind of golf accessories that I think are really going to start to rival what's out there currently. I mean, I know from the packaging and kind of presentation of this putting pack that if that's the quality of everything they do, then I really look forward to seeing what else comes through.
Yeah, superb company, great company.
Yeah, it's a nice one to see. Like I say, one to keep an eye out. They're Australian. They are just starting to make inroads to the UK, so it's one to definitely keep an eye out for. Most famously, obviously, back Cam Smith. Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do.
We'll put all the details on the screen. We'll put some screenshots as well. You should be able to see where Joe's talking. So we'll keep everybody in the loop of where you can go and how you can find the products as well. Go on, Joe. Give us another one.
Yeah. So slightly different brand is going to go to clothing. So it's a company called Unorthodox Golf. and they're a reasonably new company. They got in contact, and they're a little bit of a different golf wear kind of company. Now, something that we've discussed in the past is the way that PXG market this whole kind of country club style of golf. So that's not just your golf clubs and maybe a t-shirt. It's your outdoor jumpers, kind of your big puffer jackets to go on a walk in, even dog collars and dog leashes. It's a totally different thing that we've started to see from companies. And these have started to do a little bit of that. So they haven't gone quite as far as golf leashes and collars and all of that, but they start to make more range and casual wear. So a really, really interesting brand, because I think a lot of people want to start to buy clothing that will suit more than one occasion. And we've seen it from polo shirts and even the kind of athletic top you're wearing now, Gareth. If you wanted to go running or wanted to go out on a walk in the summer or play golfing, it's absolutely fine to do any of them. And I think that's quite a valuable standpoint to sell clothing from now. And these have started to do more jumpers, kind of hoodies and bits and bobs that are related to golf, range wear, casual wear, that kind of stuff. So I'll look forward to seeing where they go with it. Hopefully I'll have a couple of bits for the next couple of podcasts that we do.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I love where the versatility is for me in terms of that you can wear it on different occasions, not just golf wear anymore. It's not that traditional. Let's go to a big box store and buy your polo shirts and your chinos and your spike shoes. It's different kind of golf wear now. I think the pros are setting the stall out on what you can wear on the course as well. So it's real. Yeah, it's kind of pioneering now. I like the way they're going about their business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you got one to mention for us?
You mentioned the top. I'm a brand ambassador for a company called Official Golf Brands, originally run by a gentleman up in the north of England near us. He's passed on the company now to two young lads, great guys, and they're really taking the brand forward. It started off as a golf ball brand with a couple of polos in the middle layer like I've got on now. And the golf ball kind of promotes itself because it's got a line all the way around the circumference of the golf ball. And the beauty of that is being able to line up your putts, line up your tee shots. And I just think it's a real cool and something, again, that you don't really think of. And I think it's a very brave decision from these guys because they're taking on a big market. The golf ball market is a huge market with some huge players in that market. And to kind of put your ball up against the Titleist, the Callaway, the Strixon of this world, it's a ballsy move.
Yeah, quite literally. I think, like you say, I'm with that golf ball, a couple of putting lessons, and I really like it. I think it's something quite good for the price. It's outstanding, and I do think now we've started to see more competition. These kind of guerrilla brands that are bringing more golf balls out. I mean, you only have to take Vice as a kind of comparison, and they're probably almost the best of the rest, is how I'd compare them. But when you look at the price point and the quality of them, you look at this year, I think a lot of cheaper golf balls will start to be used, but they've proven that cheap doesn't mean that you need to sacrifice quality.
No, exactly.
I mean, I've been a humble servant to a Pro V for a long time, and I do love that ball. It's an outstanding golf ball. But for somebody that doesn't necessarily want to pay that price, there is something close to that's going to be a reasonable alternative.
Yeah, exactly. I think for me, it's a great kind of person ball who wants a premium golf ball, but not paying the premium price. I think that's superb. And then the gear, as you said, they put their mid layers, the polos, they're going to be bringing out snoods, they're going to be bringing out another mid layer. So it's just a real kind of cool crossover brand, again, that you can wear the clothing anywhere and wear them on the golf course especially. But then the golf ball range is going to grow over the next kind of 6 months. So there's going to be a 2-piece, a 3-piece, a 4-piece ball, which is going to be competitive with some of the big players in the market, which is great.
Yeah, I really look forward to seeing where that goes. Like you say, they've started really well with what they've done. They've done the smaller market really well, and they've kind of refined what they were aiming to do, and now they're building on it. And I like brands like that don't just go out to beat kind of the world.
Yeah.
They know where they've started, and they're now starting to step that up.
Yeah, it's brave. It's brave, really brave. Have you got another ball brand, Joe, that you want to talk about as well?
I do. I'm very excited about this one. Something that came into my possession last night, and I'm sure if we ask anybody to cast their mind back to 5 years ago, they'll remember this kind of branding golf called Nike. Now everybody knows that was a big hitter, and one of the longest, I think it was one of the longest anyway, serving balls that they had was the resin. The very end of Nike's life, and probably, in my opinion, the best ball they made.
Yeah.
So once again, really nicely tiered as to pricing, and the platinum and the black were an extremely good golf ball. One that actually did rival my beloved Pro V. And when they went, obviously they sold a few of the patents off, and a company have actually bought that golf ball. Now, the company have done an outstanding job and called themselves Resin. It's the RZN golf ball. So it's kept the name. It's kept exactly the same design. The only thing that started to change is the price, and that's gone down. And I really love that. So they now actually make 4 golf balls. So you make your distance and your speed that are more your budget brands, and your MS and your HS Tour. Now, these have been rebranded slightly to what you'll probably see online. These are ones to probably, I think, coming out this year. But they start from kind of £18 up to £35 for that premium golf ball. And I think £35 for a premium golf ball, you can't go wrong. Obviously, none of us are going to step on the first tees at our respective clubs when we get out of lockdown and stripe one straight down the middle. We're probably going to lose a couple of balls. I know I am. And I think that fractionally cheaper price point, once again, for a very premium golf ball is an outstanding idea.
I just think for me, again, it gives people options, it gives people choice. But again, if you especially go and have a look at Clubhouse Golf now, these are on sale. The previous generation are on sale. Go get yourself a bargain. And again, I think the premium one's about 22 quid, Joe, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think the cheapest one's about £12 a box. Premium one's 25. Go and give them a try.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great time as well, where we've got maybe a little bit of indoor putting time, and when the weather starts to clear up, maybe a little bit more time to go and hit some chips in the back garden. Try a box of as many balls as you can get your hand on, because I'm sure there's going to be something out there that will surprise you.
I think with both these, I think with both 2 ball brands, I think it's so important that we don't test balls enough. Certainly as pros, I know we do, but we should do it more like you were doing with the AUX, was it the AVX?
AVX, yeah.
AVX before lockdown. So it's one of those where I think encourage people to try some different golf balls.
Really interesting to try them and to kind of notice.
Yeah, see the difference in what you do, what you're playing, what you're doing.
Yeah, to kind of see those differences is quite an interesting thing. And I think it also brings a little bit of awareness to a golfer of what they like. You ask a lot of players and they'll say, oh yeah, I like a soft ball. And it's only what the industry's kind of told them they should like.
Yeah.
As where you look at, I'm going to use, say, an older golfer that maybe wants a little more distance, doesn't necessarily mind about the feel coming into the back end of the season. A harder ball's going to be better. And there's just those little bits where there's going to be advantages to maybe changing a summer and a winter ball.
Yeah.
But you're not going to know what you like until you go out and try them. And like you say, that doesn't have to be cheaper brands. That could be your premium brands.
Yeah.
Like you say, the test against the AVX and the Pro V. They're a similar ball, but I learned things about the AVX that I didn't previously know. And I think that's a real standpoint to kind of improve from.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on again to another brand that kind of we both loved and we love what they're doing is Northern Ball Markers. They started off, Dan and the team started off as a kind of just a specific ball marker company, and I teamed up with them to produce the mental markers, which is a pretty cool venture from my perspective, and I've loved doing that. But now they've branched out into a little bit of headwear, some towels, tees, lots of different things. And you very much kindly at the start of this week took the heads off my wedges, and we've sent them up to Dan and the team at Northern Ball Markers to now get some kind of funky designs laser etched on the back of the wedges.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see that. I think certainly something that's come out on social media a little bit more from Callaway and Anthony Taranto specifically for personalising these wedges. They look amazing. They really do. And it's not an easy thing to do. So I think that kind of laser etching and the offerings that they're giving there is a serious point in the market for a lot of people to maybe personalise some of their equipment.
I think that's going to be, you talked about it a little bit with one of our special guests today, of that kind of, that personalisation is going to be a big thing. In what way do you think it's going to be a big thing, Joe, this year?
I think everybody likes their own little thing. And I mean, you know it as much as I do. When you get a bag through with your name on it, it's a fantastic feeling. It's beautiful because that's yours. And I think the same applies to ball markers and everything that goes with it. I mean, I know you've got a head cover that your little man kind of drew on for you, and it's that personalisation. And I saw one today, I think it was actually from Northern Ball Markers, of putting a child's first handprint and footprint
that was
on a marker.
Yeah.
We're not just talking names. It can be anything, but it's yours. And I think there's such a value in that it's that pride of knowing it is made for you.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. I love the creative for a lot of these brands. I just love the creativity and the ingenuity and the innovation that they bring into golf. It's making it really cool. I know it's like an overused word, cool, but it's a kind of retro kind of feel with a real like edge to it, which I really like.
Yeah, I think, like you say, you're spot on there. Personalised wedges and all of that are something for yours. I know an old set of mine are now painted up and made to what I like. And when it's sticking out your bag, you love it. It's ace. You look forward to hitting those clubs.
Exactly. Yeah. Have you got another brand for us, Joe?
I do, actually. Yeah, an interesting one. And I think maybe not necessarily just a brand, but something we're going to start to see more involving speed training. So obviously we've seen Bryson, we've seen Carl Berkshire hit his 8-iron 330 yards. I think a lot of people are now aiming towards this speed training. And the brand that I want to bring in is the Super Speed Golf. So there's Super Speed and there's Swing Speed Golf. They're two different brands, but they make a very similar product. And I think they are both going to gain some serious traction with what they've bought in and what they do for golfers, pros, lessons to be able to up their swing speed. And I think that's going to be a really interesting point to see how many amateurs start to go through that more golf training aspect of kind of improvement, as well as a lesson and striking and everything that goes with it. So it'd be really interesting to see what they do this year. I know it's a short one, but it'd be interesting to see.
Well, I think it's just, again, it's making the sport more athletic, isn't it, as well?
I'm keen to talk to you. Yeah, I mean, we saw it with clothing. Clothing went more athletic. It went away from the kind of the normal polo to a more athletic material. And now we started to see golfers biomechanic analysis, all of this. I don't know if you've seen Chris Como's living room training. But oh man, what a setup. It's like a science lab now. A lot of the tour trucks are the same. They've all got bits that we wouldn't have dreamed of 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's just completely changed. I think this is a really evolving area to kind of run with.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, really cool.
I now want to ask you a question. I know there's a company that you work with, Sustainable Tees, but on the sustainability route, we saw on your social media probably one of the greatest little convenient training aids I think I've ever seen. Would you mind telling us a little bit more?
Yeah, it's from a great company we're based over in Norwich called Esla Putters, and they make bespoke wooden kind of one-off hardwood putters, and they produce something called the putt sticks, and I've done a little video on my YouTube channel with them. And they, as Joe said, they're just a little convenient training aids produced and kind of manufactured in a beautiful way. And again, just go and check out, if you just like looking at good looking golf pictures, go and check out their kind of Instagram, because the putters are absolutely amazing. They look absolutely beautiful, Joe.
Yeah, I was certainly struck. I mean, just to give you the story on it, I looked at it, and when I saw Jenga pieces, I thought you'd lost the plot. I really did. But then to see what the kind of drills are accessible with them, what you can do, and just the general, once again, packaging of an item of, we're talking 3 wooden blocks and a ton of imagination of, here's a load of drills you can do with them. Here's a great packaging to keep them in your bag. They're not going to weigh your bag down. They're not metal. They're not overly heavy. And I think if I was to speak to a lot of my clients one-to-one now that are going, oh, what kind of training aid would you advise? Hands down, it's going to be them, because there's so much you can do with them.
Yeah.
It fascinated me, it really did. And I think the putters are just stunning, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think fair play, because it's just a lot of these products take a lot of tender love and care from a kind of a northern ball marker perspective. There's the putters, to just everybody we talked about tonight. There's a process that these companies go through to bring their product to market, and you've got to respect these companies. They're not a Callaway and a Titleist, they're TaylorMade. They're a company that are run with passion and enthusiasm, and kind of credit to everybody, really. It's amazing and a brave thing to do, to start a golf business.
Yeah, I think, interestingly, I know from the guy that we spoke to today, you see a totally different side to it, that a lot of these people have got jobs. And this is something they do because of their love for what they do, mainly. And I think there's a whole deal of respect where, like you say, I walked around the Ping factory last year, and you see these putters being made by a 3-man team, and it's mind-blowing. But to think that somebody spends the best part of a week in making that putter head for you and nobody else, handmade for you to your design, is just amazing. And I've got so much respect for a lot of these companies, because it is a slog. It's so much hard work.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're so proud to do what we do, because these guys really deserve a break, because they make some fantastic products and probably don't get the recognition they truly deserve for it.
No, exactly, pal. And you touched on it then this afternoon. We spoke to Sam. He's from another company that we'll touch on lightly, called Fescue and Dunes. I love the name, first of all. We didn't really touch on the name today, but I just love the name and the idea around it.
Yeah, thinking about it, it is fantastic. And there's probably no more deep-rooted golf name than a kind of Fescue and Dunes. You know exactly what you're talking about for any die-hard golf fan. But yeah, really interesting today.
Yeah, we've got Sam. That's a kind of special episode that we've got coming at the end of the week this week for you. We had a kind of sit down with Sam, one of the co-owners of Fescue and Dunes, and we really dug deep into kind of what it takes to run a kind of startup business and bring a business to market. So that's coming Friday, everybody. So kind of look and see what's coming in terms of, and listen on our channels for correspondence on that one. We can't wait to bring you that.
No, I think that was really interesting, because it almost deviated away a fraction from just purely golf. And like you say, delved into just the amount of hard work that these guys have to do to run their business and provide it. And they provided some fantastic products that I'm really excited to share on Friday.
Yeah, great. The coffee's beautiful. The kind of little clay markers are great. The artwork is beautiful. So yeah, we'll just listen out for that one and have a see if you're spotted on our social channels this Friday. Joe, great episode tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to bringing that to everybody.
Great episode tonight, and I think the beauty of what we've done tonight is hopefully give people an opportunity to go and discover some new brands, because I think it's an exciting thing when you can go and find your own brand and your own something that's special to you. It means more when you're on that golf course and you're showing your pals your new top or the new golf ball you're playing or the new coffee you're drinking. It's a cool kind of idea and concept.
Yeah, it's amazing. Golf is no longer just about the club you play at and the clubs you play with. There's so much around it, so many accessories, homeware bits that are just, it's fantastic to see what's going on. And like I said, I'm proud to bring them to people. It's so nice that we get that insight and hopefully can pass it on.
Yeah. What are your kind of takeaways from tonight? What are your kind of summaries of what we discussed tonight?
I think as far as a message goes for people, be open-minded with what you're looking at. Go and have a look, and don't be afraid to try something a little bit different. If it doesn't work out, you don't buy it again. Like you say, if you buy a golf ball and it doesn't perform quite as well as the one that you were kind of playing, that's okay. There's no problem with that. But you might just find something that suits you so much better. A, maybe financially, B, for your game. And if it's both, then you've ultimately won.
Yeah.
But there's so much out there.
And is that what we're going to touch on next week? Are we going to touch on a little bit of kind of brands that you might not have thought of, or the underdogs? Are we going to talk about underdog brands next week, Joe?
Yeah, I'd call them secret assassins. The kind of ones that you might just know about in the back of your mind, but there's some really interesting pieces of kit that are from bigger brands, but I think are really going to do some hard work in 2021. And I look forward to bringing those to you as something maybe a little more recognizable.
That'd be cool. So next week episode, all on secret assassins. Joe, thank you for tonight. Really enjoyed your time. Thank you everybody out there for listening.
It's a pleasure as usual.
And we will see you again.
Yeah. Also, just to add in finally, if you find a brand that you like that we don't know about, please drop us a message. I love finding out about these. And if there's one that you're screaming at kind of your phone or your tablet saying you've got to look at this, then let us know. I'd be really intrigued.
Yeah, drop us a line either in the comments or reach out on both our social channels and tell us what you found. But no, thank you again, Joe. Really enjoyed tonight.
It's a pleasure as always.
Cool. Thank you everybody for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.